What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm predicting the outcome of Robert Helenius versus Adam Kownacki, which is for the WBA heavyweight title Eliminator. This will be held on PBC March 7th at the Barclays Center, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll definitely be tuning into this fight. And there's also two other exciting prospects on the card, F.A. Jagba and Frank Sanchez, both undefeated and both looking to get a title shot in the coming years. But in this fight, Robert Helenius, he's 29-3 with 18 wins by knockout. Overall, he used to be one of the best heavyweights in the world. After knocking out Layman Brewster, knocking out Sam Peter, and getting a decision win over Derek Chisora for the EBU titles and some regional belts. But he used to be in the top 5, I believe, in the heavyweight division. He used to be a sparring partner of Vladimir Klitschko back when he faced Tyson Fury. But he used to be an excellent fighter, one of the best prospects they'll ever see. But I believe he had an injury where he was not able to fight until, I believe, 2015, where he tasted defeat for the first time in 2016 against Johan Duhaupas, where he was knocked out, as well as against Gerald Washington, and against Dillian White. But in the Dillian White fight, he didn't get knocked out. It was a unanimous decision defeat, where he almost lost every single round, and that was for the WBC silver title. But against Johan Duhaupas, I believe it was in the late to mid rounds, where Duhaupas hit him with a great straight and knocked him out. But all of his defeats are to tall fighters. I believe Duhaupas is like 6'7" or 6'6". Dillian White's like 6'4", and Washington's obviously 6'6". But definitely the most, defining loss would be against Gerald Washington, being that he was the heavy favorite and he was ahead on the judges' scorecards. I had him winning the fight. He was outlanding him. But then he just got caught with a good punch and got knocked out. But based on that, Kownacki knocked out Gerald Washington in 2, and Helenius was knocked out by Washington. I'm just going to say already, not even mentioning Kownacki yet, I think he's going to knock out Helenius probably in the mid-rounds, being that he's never faced anyone this tall as Kownacki, but Kownacki has excellent pressure and excellent power, and he's a good talent from Poland, and there should be a lot of fans coming out for that fight. And I believe Helenius is 6'8" or 6'7". He's a really tall guy, really lanky guy, but I noticed in the Washington fight and in the Duhaupas fight, he does leave his hands wide, leaving his chin open for a straight to the jaw. That's exactly how Helenius and Washington and Duhaupas knocked him out. But Helenius, before the Washington fight, knocked out Erkan Tepper to win the IBF Intercontinental title. And he also had a win over Roberto Osario, who was 9-4 against an unknown opponent in Finland. The fight was where he knocked him out in 2 rounds. I believe they had the fight on YouTube, then they took it down for whatever reason. And I watched the fight, and I believe that was in November. But to move on to his opponent, Adam Kownacki, 20-0, 15 by knockout. He's coming off of a unanimous decision win over Chris Arreola, former world title challenger. And Kownacki is definitely one of the top 10 heavyweights. I believe I put him at number 8. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yeah, he's definitely a good fighter. He's got good pressure. The only downfall of him is his speed. Although he does hit obliviously and he doesn't keep the combinations down, his speed is a little lackluster, and he does tire out towards the later rounds, like against Arreola and Charles Martin. But definitely his toughest fight was against Charles Martin, where he was almost dropped actually in round 10, where he was visibly hurt in that fight. And if only that was a 12-round fight, which it possibly could have been when I heard some of the news about it a couple of years back, it could have been a 12-round fight, and maybe there could have been a different outcome, being that the judges had it 6 rounds to 4 in favor of Kownacki, so it wasn't really a far-away fight from Martin winning. But Martin is definitely his best victory, I'm going to say, even though he's fought Areola, Washington, and all that. But his best victory was probably against Charles Martin. And, yeah, it was a good victory, getting the unanimous decision win. He was pressuring him throughout the fight. But to mention his last victory against Areola, he was pressuring him in the earlier rounds, but then got tired as the fight went on. So if I were Robert Helenius, I would try and use my reach, back up, keep my hands on my chin, and have a good defensive game. And probably going into later rounds, Kownacki will get tired of trying to knock out Helenius based on them knowing he doesn't have a great chin. And who knows, the best chance Helenius has is probably a puncher's chance. He's still a very powerful puncher, and he does pack a punch in that big right hand. But his chin is definitely not as good as his power. But overall, I think Kownacki is going to get the victory probably by stoppage in the 5th round. But as I said before, if I were Helenius, I'd utilize my reach and boxing skill instead of just trying to go in there and get the victory. Well, he will go in there to get the victory, but he'll probably go in there trying to trade with him, which I would not recommend, as all the fighters that have traded with him, besides Charles Martin, have lost the trade. Where Charles Martin hit him with some good shots, landing a straight, but then Kownacki bounced back. So he's one of those guys that if you hit him, he'll hit you back even harder and better. So that's really it. I'm going to be boxing. I think Kownacki's going to get the stoppage in round 5 or round 7. And that's really it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.